Okay then, so this is where the action really hots up again, as if it hasn't been hot enough already. We've got the first semi-final. The qualifying is about to start. The karts are out on their pace laps. We've got some quite serious competitors in this one. First one out is Ed White, and we've seen such a great turn of speed from him. Ruben Boutens, visitor from Holland, expert driver on the world level. He's out second, and Cam Ho, some great performances from Cam Ho. Robin Kassam is in there. Alex Van Gien, Connor Marsh, we saw him win a race earlier on. Aaron Kidd, a previous race winner. Michael Weddle, Jack O'Neill, and Brad Philpott. So 10 serious competitors in this. This is the opening semi-final. Okay, so across the line to start the qualifying laps. The first two have made it, White and Boutens. Cam Ho's going to be next across the line to begin his qualifying. Now we're going to be following the screen as well as the TV picture. We've got the karts all on their qualifying lap almost. There's just two more to go. Brad Philpott now. That's everybody on their fast lap now. And we'll see what's happening when the times come in. And there's Ruben Boutens, he's completed his lap. Ed White currently is fastest from Ruben Boutens, Connor Marsh, Robin Kassam. Michael Weddle has now taken the provisional pole, but Brad Philpott is still out there. Brad Philpott pits Michael Weddle for the pole position. So Brad Philpott, the final driver there out on the qualifying, has taken pole position for this race. There he is on screen now. He's looking across the final kart you saw there on the picture. Brad Philpott, he's going to start from the pole from Michael Weddle. Then Ed White. Ed White, we've seen such blistering pace from him all weekend, but he's managed to put himself third on the grid, but it's very close. Brad Philpott took the pole by 0.04 of a second. That's it, 0.04 of a second. Ed White, 0.07 a second away from Brad Philpott. Ruben Boutens was only 0.33 away from Brad Philpott's time, but that's only good enough for fourth. Connor Marsh, 0.034. This is so close. And even the last place, Alex Van Gien, is only 0.8 of a second away from Brad Philpott. Okay, on the screen now we can see they're bringing Brad Philpott up to the pole position. They're going to line the karts up in race order, in qualifying order, sorry, for the start of the race. So Brad Philpott takes up his pole position. Next to be sent through is going to be Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle. Is anyone opting to switch karts? No, they're not. That's Michael Weddle. He's making his way down now. That's Michael Weddle. He's pulling up into second place. Moving forward there's Ed White. Ruben Boutens taking up his fourth slot behind Ed White. Such pace behind Ed White today and yesterday, and now he's taking up third place, which is something. Connor Marsh there, he's in his position, and so on down the line. This is going to be a really tough race for these competitors. It's the British Rental Kart Championship 2014, the first of 3 semi-finals, and it's going to be vitally important. The way the semi-finals work, it's not necessarily the top 3 that go through. The semi-finals are effectively a continuation of the heats. Making it to the semi-final just gives you the right to continue scoring. It gives you the right to continue scoring, and then the top 10 point scorers after the 3 semis go through to the final. So although winning the semi-final is vital, it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all. If you've still got a decent point score, you'll still make the final race. Okay, so this is going to be very tough. So Brad Philpott leads them away. Brad Philpott leads the field away. There's Brad on the point there. Michael Weddle behind, and Ed White behind him. So slowing the pace down. Brad Philpott controls the pace from the front there. Anticipating the green light, the pace picks up and we're going green. Brad Philpott leads away. Michael Weddle, Ed White behind him, and Ruben Boutens follows in fourth place, and Brad Philpott continues in the lead. It's very close up at the front. Those first, well, everybody's really in complete contention in this one so far. Brad Philpott holding the lead from Michael Weddle. Bring up the rear there, Alex Van Gien. So onto the backstretch, there's Brad Philpott. It's Philpott from Weddle and White. Into the hairpin at the end, there's Brad Philpott. Michael Weddle following as close as he can. Ed White, we're looking at Ruben Boutens. There's Connor Marsh. As the field streams on through, there's Aaron Kidd in the red suit. Connor Marsh crossing the line there. Brad Philpott continues out in the lead with Michael Weddle running second place. There's Brad, Michael Weddle and Ed White. Ruben Boutens and the rest of the field races on through. Still Alex Van Gien bringing up the rear. Alex Van Gien in the blue and white suit just bringing up the tail there. Brad Philpott once again leads on to the back stretch. That's Brad Philpott leading. Michael Weddle is now about a kart length or so behind. It closes up under braking as Brad Philpott continues in the lead there. We'll look great view there as the cars negotiate this stadium section. Past the pits and across the finish line again to record another lap. So Brad Philpott leads. He continues that one kart lead ahead of Michael Weddle, Philpott, Weddle, Ed White, Ruben Boutons and Conor Marsh in 5th place. So Brad Philpott looking very, very serene out there in the lead. You can bet your life these guys are all seriously on it, and there looks as though there's been a change at the back. Alex Van Gien has taken an early pit stop. Alex Van Gien has pitted out of 10th place and Brad Philpott leads. It looks as though Ruben Boutons is coming under increasing pressure. That's Conor Marsh we're looking at. Conor Marsh is putting the visiting Dutch driver, absolute top driver on the world level is Ruben Boutons, and the youngster Conor Marsh putting him under an awful lot of pressure in that battle for 4th place. And another pit stop. We've got another kart in the pits. I believe it could well be Cam Ho. This looks like Cam Ho in the pits. He's just coming out. There he exits the pits with a white helmet. Alex Van Gien trying to take the position, but not quite close enough after the pit stop. So back to the leaders. That's Michael Weddle and Ed White we're looking at. Ed White possibly closer to Weddle than Weddle is to the race leader, which is Philpott. And Weddle is really feeling the attention there of Ed White. Ed White absolutely over the back bumper of the 2nd place kart. Some very fair driving going on, but that little battle developing there over 2nd is pulling away from 4th place, which is Ruben Boutons, who's receiving the attention of Conor Marsh. So Philpott there in the lead, and Boutons, and so on. Meantime, that's Brad Philpott onto the back stretch with Michael Weddle in 2nd. We're picking up the leader now. There's Brad Philpott increasing his lead slightly. Michael Weddle now feeling the attention there of Ed White. Brad Philpott, there's Michael Weddle and Ed White in close contact with the 2nd place kart. Ed White been blisteringly fast over the weekend so far. And the tail enders are coming through. There's Alex Van Gien bringing up the rear. He's chasing down Cam Ho. It's Ruben Boutons continuing. Oh, a very close one there. It looks like Aaron Kidd had a kart come out right in front of him. And here's Brad Philpott in the lead. That's the back stretch. We're looking straight down it. It's the straightest piece of the track and the longest stretch we deal with here, building up a lot of speed down that straight. The final hairpin, and Alex Van Gien is out of picture, just in picture for a moment. He's battling side by side with Cam Ho. And we've gone out of picture, we've lost the battle at the back there, but there it is. Cam Ho's coming back at Alex Van Gien there. There's Cam Ho in the white helmet with the predominantly blue of Alex Van Gien. And we've switched again to Conor Marsh working on Ruben Boutons there. That's the battle for 4th place. And Aaron Kidd there is holding up ahead of Alex Van Gien. He's holding position well, but here's Brad Philpott back to the race leader. Brad Philpott on his way. He's got a gap of about 2 kart lengths, which in rental karting terms is quite a safe margin. Michael Weddle there is really under pressure from Ed White, and then we see a pairing of Ruben Boutons and Conor Marsh behind him. That's Boutons and Marsh. They're really fighting closely. Now Jack O'Neill there in the picture just behind Marsh. What's the action here? Yeah, just the tail enders coming through. That was Cam Ho bringing up the rear now. So we've got Brad Philpott, Michael Weddle, Ed White really trying to work hard there on Michael Weddle. Ed White looks to be working the steering wheel a lot harder than Michael Weddle, and there's Jack O'Neill running in 6th place there. Oh, and one into the pits. So we've got another pit stop, and this in turn looks like it could be Jack O'Neill. That's Jack O'Neill there making the 2nd stop. You have to stop twice in the pit lane. That was the 2nd stop. He's back on the track. There's Alex Van Gien working hard on Aaron Kidd. Aaron Kidd won a race earlier this weekend, and he's a young man on a mission. Alex Van Gien, his best result's been 2nd. So an interesting mix there. That's the 5th place through there. Conor Marsh, Ruben Boutons with Conor Marsh there, and Conor Marsh really giving Ruben Boutons a run for his money there. We've seen Ruben for many years now competing at the highest levels of European karting in the rental divisions of karting. Really is a force to be reckoned with, and Conor Marsh is working very well there to tackle the visiting Dutchman, and still Conor Marsh working on Boutons. So that's Alex Van Gien chasing Alex Kidd. Cam Ho bringing up the tail there. That's the hairpin before the pit. So Brad Philpott leading. 2nd place is Michael Weddle, still receiving the attention of Ed White. It's very difficult to overtake on this track. It's possible, but very difficult, exacerbated by the fact that the driving standard is very good. If the driving standard was less, it surely would be a lot easier to overtake. pit stop strategy is vital. Now remember, in the pits, each driver has to stop twice, and so that's making a little bit of a different complexion. So the drivers don't have to pit twice, they actually have to stop twice in the pit lane. So they stop when they enter, go down the pits, stop again at the end, and then come out. And that really is that double stop. How good is a driver at stopping? That's playing a part in each of these races. So it looks though it's bunching up a little bit now. Michael Weddle is out of the action and into the pits. We've got Brad Philpott still with a comfortable lead. Ed White has assumed second place and taken over from Michael Weddle, sorry, and that puts Ruben Bouton's fourth, Conor Marsh fifth. But it's a close battle there, and Michael Weddle is now fending off the attention of Ruben Bouton's, and he in turn is going to be bringing Conor Marsh with him. As the tail end of the field there, that's Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho. That's the battle we've been looking at. So there's Ed White, there's Michael Weddle, and that's Ruben Bouton. This is how it's closed up. We did see a gap there earlier on, but Ed White looks like he's building a bit of a lead there. That's the third place blue and white suit of Michael Weddle. Brad Philpott the leader. Ed White second, and Michael Weddle third, Ruben Bouton and Conor Marsh. Now it can be said maybe the slower one of this lot is actually Michael Weddle, because we've seen how Ed White is now pulling away, having passed the position there. He's now pulling away in second place. He's beginning the chase of Brad Philpott. Can he close him down? He's got about nearly 13 minutes left to do it in this race, so he's got the time. The question is, has he got the speed? Okay, so into the pits then. It looks like it could be Conor Marsh out in fifth place. He makes his first stop. This is Conor Marsh. He's going to have to stop again, as we were saying. He takes that second stop. Now he's racing back into the action. But he's got Jack Sharp he's got to come out in front of, and he does comfortably. So he comfortably comes out in front of Jack Sharp. Okay, so the leader still is Brad Philpott, and now we have Ed White in pursuit of Brad Philpott. We're looking at some of the tail enders now. And that's the battle at the back with Aaron Kidd, Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho battling for position there. Nobody wants to be last. They're battling over 8th place. So Conor Marsh, he in turn is followed by Jack O'Neill and Robin Kassam. We saw some great things from Robin Kassam earlier. Conor Marsh won the heat race this morning that he was in, really building race by race there. So here's the battle at the tail. Aaron Kidd in the red, Alex Van Gien in the blue and Cam Ho in the black. Philpott leads, Ed White. And then Michael Weddle really receiving the close attentions of Ruben Bouton. Ruben Bouton's, of course, is he's been let off the hook, shall we say, with Conor Marsh's pit stop, and that's taken a little bit of pressure off him, allows him to fully focus on the driver ahead, in this case Weddle. There they go out to view once more. Conor Marsh, meantime, is turning in some excellent laps in his pursuit of trying to maximise the clear air around him, so that when the others come out of the pits, he may be able to make up a spot. So Brad Philpott leading at the end of the straight then. Ed White, there's Ed White, and following him Michael Weddle, with Ruben Bouton in close contact with Weddle. Weddle clearly has fallen away from Ed White now, so Philpott and Ed White, and that is Michael Weddle and Ruben Bouton as they come past the pits to start another lap. So we can clearly see from what's going on here, Brad Philpott has a little bit of a lead over Ed White, who in turn has built up over Michael Weddle. Ruben Bouton must be feeling boxed in there. He's quite well blocked out behind Michael Weddle. He's not really able to make any movement towards the front. Philpott comes through with a bit of a gap. So the gap now extending. Brad Philpott looking to win this semi-final. He is the championship organiser, and he's also racing in it, which is the first time in a few years for him. Brad Philpott is the current track record holder on this circuit, so we can expect him to run well at the front. Having said that, the standard here is so great, the times continue to tumble. So action further down the field, that'll be Robin Kassam chasing down Jack O'Neill. So Robin Kassam, we saw one of the stars of the earlier heats, but he's down in 7th place in this race. They're battling over 6th there. The tail of the field comes through. Brad Philpott working his way ever closer to the tail of the field. He's not all that far behind the tail now, which is the battling group of Aaron Kidd and Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho. There's that battling group. So that's Aaron Kidd, Van Gien and Cam Ho. And further back we would have seen Brad Philpott. We switched back to the battle of Jack O'Neill versus Robin Kassam. And right, so that's Cam Ho in last place. Here comes Brad Philpott onto the main straight. A bit of encouragement going on there. So Brad Philpott turns in. Then Ed White really working the kart there in second place. See how his action much greater than, say, Ruben Bouton's in fourth. Here's Ruben Bouton. See how smooth he is, sticking to the inside, not working the kart to make it slow down by scrubbing the tyres or losing any speed. Obviously relative low power in rental karts, which means that the driver has to be even better because there is no power to give away. Ruben Bouton's one of the best in the business at keeping it smooth and consistent. So the last place battle, there's Cam Ho bringing up the rear, and here comes Brad Philpott onto the back straight. He's racing down to the turn at the end there. Brad turns in. Look at the different styles. Look at the aggression there of Ed White. He throws it into the corner. And the smooth style of the fourth place driver there, Ruben Bouton. So Michael Weddle there trying to fend off Ruben Bouton. Always smooth, always consistent, always a challenger in any race, the Dutchman Ruben Bouton. That looks like Ed White, and then we should be looking Michael Weddle. There's Michael Weddle. Ruben Bouton still working on him, but cannot make a move. Cannot make anything count there. And the battle near the tail, that's Sharp and O'Neill and Kassam again. Okay, I think we've got a pit stop. No, they're still continuing round. So Brad Philpott puts another lap into the record books, and now we're looking at Ruben Bouton. He's working for all he can on the back of Michael Weddle there. They're battling over third place, and it's very tricky indeed. Very tricky to overtake. If someone can find a way through, it's going to be Ruben Bouton's. It's going to be important to him not to lose ground. We can see how he's trying one side then the other, and it's not really working. So the battle at the back has opened up a little bit. Brad Philpott closing down on this pair, which is Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho in the white helmet. There's Brad Philpott just going past the camera there. So Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho have fallen away a bit from Aaron Kidd. There's Aaron Kidd. He's opened up a gap to Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho, which are there. Still, that gap's getting a little bit wider. Somehow lost a bit of pace somewhere. Oh, and side by side down the back straight almost. That's the O'Neill and Kassam battle, which we'll keep an eye on. There really no sail past the camera position here. So there's Aaron Kidd, and he's been pursued by Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho for last. We should be seeing Philpott, the leader, coming. There he is, just past the camera, coming into view there. Brad Philpott does not pit this time. I'm quite surprised that nobody's really gone for that early pit stop of those leaders, except for Conor Marsh. It worked for him in one of the earlier heat races. He was able to make up quite a lot of ground, but in the heat race he won, he stayed out quite a long time. Really built up a big gap there. And here comes the last place battle. So Aaron Kidd turns in, Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho, but behind them, that's the race leader now. Brad Philpott is the race leader with Ed White in pursuit. They're pulling away from Ruben Bouton and Michael Weddle. Ruben Bouton has managed to pass Michael Weddle. He's moved up, and in comes the leader. That's Brad Philpott pitting now, taking the first stop, moving down to the second stop. This is the race leader. This is vital that he gets out of this second stop without too much traffic. He's going to come out. He's blended back into the race in fourth place. So he's behind Michael Weddle, but importantly, he's come out ahead of Conor Marsh. Conor Marsh coming through now. So Conor Marsh was in the early battle for the lead. If you remember, there were 5 of them there. Conor Marsh pitted early, and he was hoping obviously to leapfrog the others as they fought out for position, but that's not how it's worked out. Conor Marsh, unfortunately for him, some way behind the leader Philpott. It was a gamble worth taking though. We'll see where he ends up in the final result, but that could put him in 5th. Ruben Bouton takes the pit lane now. Out of camera shot, Ruben Bouton has pitted out of 2nd place. Ed White assumes the lead, of course. And there's Ruben Bouton taking the 2nd pit stop. He must get out. Conor Marsh is coming through. This is going to be a battle. Here comes Conor Marsh. And Ruben Bouton, there's Conor Marsh. Can Conor Marsh take advantage? Ruben Bouton blocks him one side, then the other. Conor Marsh trying for the outside pass. And it's going to be Ruben Bouton. He's got the position covered. Ruben Bouton continues in 4th place. Conor Marsh remains in 5th. So of the leaders now, we're just waiting for the actual leader. And Michael Weddle comes in the pit. So I was about to say, and then Michael Weddle, but Weddle pits out 2nd place. That's Weddle, the 2nd place driver. He's now lost 2nd place to Brad Philpott and takes the 2nd stop. Oh, and it very rough. You can see his frustration. He blends out right in front of Ruben Bouton. This is the battle, the 3rd place battle. Who's it going to be? Oh, we've lost the camera picture, but Weddle is hanging on. He's hanging on. There it is. And Ruben Bouton, the Dutchman, is behind him. Conor Marsh, the previous heat winner, is behind him, and Michael Weddle is going to be seriously feeling the pressure. He felt that his getaway wasn't particularly good. There's Brad Philpott, the leader we're looking at. So, Philpott across the line. Oh, and look at this. Oh, aiming for an outside pass there. That was Conor Marsh. There's Conor that we're looking at now. He's working on Ruben Bouton, who in turn is looking at Michael Weddle. Ruben Bouton looking at closing it up to Michael Weddle. In fact, Weddle has got a little bit of a gap there, maybe 1 or 2 kart lengths. That's Weddle, Booten and Conor Marsh bringing up the rear of that. They, of course, are running 3rd, 4th and 5th, respectively. Brad Philpott, the leader. Smooth, serene, minimal effort on the steering, not trying to unsettle the kart at all. Momentum is everything in a rental kart race, and it's very difficult to get and even harder to maintain. Very easy to overdrive and lose time. Some of the best in the business here, that's Michael Weddle and Ruben Boutens. So that's Ed White turning in. You can see the aggressive style of Ed White. He's continuing in the lead. He has not yet stopped. He is he's the only remaining leader who's not been in the pits yet, and we'll see where he blends out. We saw how when Michael Weddle pitted, there's a bit of trouble for him, and but he just managed to come out ahead. Worked wonders to stay ahead of Ruben Boutens. Kart's moving around. Oh, Conor Marsh up the inside. What a move by Marsh. The youngster's really feisty in this one. He puts a move on the very experienced Ruben Boutens back up the inside. Oh my goodness. Really sharp work there by Ruben Boutens. He was not wasting any time. He is not a man to mess around, Ruben Boutens. Very clinical, very serious racer. He blocks to the inside, keeps Conor Marsh at bay. A great move by Conor Marsh and an even better one by Ruben Boutens to come back at him. We've not seen overtaking like that. Perfectly clean, perfectly acceptable, and very difficult on a course like this. Okay, so that's given some breathing space to Michael Weddle. The two are side by side down the back straight, out of view. Here they come, and Ruben Boutens hangs on to position. These two are really racing hard. So Michael Weddle, look for the blue suit of Ruben Boutens. There he is with Conor Marsh behind in the white-coloured suit, fighting away for position. This is potentially the best battle on the racetrack, although it's hotting up further down the order. There's Ruben Boutens and Conor Marsh looking to the inside. Hasn't made anything work there. We've got a pit stop from nearer the back of the field. We'll update you on that one as soon as we know. Heading out onto the track. But the lead position remains the same, and that battle is really fierce. There's Conor Marsh, that battle between Conor Marsh and Ruben Boutens. This is really hotting up. Ruben Boutens having to use all of his experience to hold off the youngster. Conor Marsh really working hard. And they're losing ground, though, to Michael Weddle all the time. These two battling away, it's costing them time. And Brad Philpott is fighting hard with Ed White. It was, in fact, Ed White who we saw pit, but he's come out right in front of Brad Philpott. Just so that you know, Brad Philpott is second place behind Ed White, and side by side there, Conor Marsh with Ruben Boutens. Ruben Boutens has the inside and keeps the position. So here they come, past the pits once more. That's Ruben Boutens in a blue suit, followed by Conor Marsh behind him. Out of view, and there's the last place battle. That's still raging, but it's really intense. We've got Jack O'Neill from Robin Kassam, Aaron Kidd, Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho there. So leading the way on that little section is Jack O'Neill there. There's Jack O'Neill and Robin Kassam, with Aaron Kidd having a look at Kassam, with Van Gien and Cam Ho there. This is the battle for the lead then. Ed White leads from Brad Philpott. Brad Philpott, the championship organiser. Ed White, really one of the most impressive drivers this weekend. He's been so quick. It's no surprise to see him leading this race, and he's holding off the fearsome Brad Philpott. Still carrying away that lead. They're heading onto the back straight as we speak. Here they are. Ed White in the lead. Notice how aggressively he turns in. Philpott a bit more serene behind him. Philpott trying to find any little advantage here. Here comes the battle for the lead past the pits. That's Ed White with Brad Philpott right on his tail. They continue past the start finish line there and going out of view. And this is the big battle there. That's Jack O'Neill with Robin Kassam trying to pass him to the outside. Aaron Kidd in the red suit looking on the inside of Kassam there, but nothing going. And here's that battle again. So there's Jack O'Neill holding off Robin Kassam, with Aaron Kidd really working hard back there. Third of those 5 runners there, with Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho bringing up the tail. And look at this, it's so tight at the back. This is the second half of the entire race. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th places. And the checker flag has come out. Ed White is the winner from Brad Philpott and Michael Weddle. This is the battle we want to be looking at. 4th place overall. It's going to be Ruben Boutens as they cross the line, with Conor Marsh in 5th. What a result. And what's happening here? Is it going to be do or die? It is indeed Jack O'Neill from Robin Kassam. Aaron Kidd, Alex Van Gien and Cam Ho finishing in 10th. What a race that was. Ed White taking the first semi-final. Ed White really throwing himself forward as a potential for overall victory here. He has been so quick, and to beat Brad Philpott cleanly in a race like that takes some doing. So Ed White was the winner from Brad Philpott and Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle, of course, absorbing enormous pressure. There's the winner, Ed White. He's getting out to the cart now. He's just releasing the unit where they keep the weights. All the carts are weighted up to 90 kilos, of course. That's Brad Philpott. He was second. Michael Weddle surely must be happy with third. That's quite a good dose of points. Ruben Boutons, he was really hoping for a bit more from this. You can see the difference in the body language here. And there's Conor Marsh, who came in 5th place. And how about this battle at the back there? That's Jack O'Neill, Robin Kassam and Alex Van Gien. Alex Van Gien seemed to pass Aaron Kidd on the slowing down lap there, because there's Aaron Kidd just getting out with Cam Ho bringing up the rear. You can really see the difference in the body language on these drivers. A little bit of discussion there. Jack O'Neill, that's Robin Kassam in the black there. Jack O'Neill obviously had Kassam behind him virtually all the way. And we're panning now towards the winners. This is Ed White here. Ed White talking with Brad Philpott. White, funnily enough, in the white helmet. Brad Philpott in the middle there in the black suit. Brad calling the shots. He's probably saying, "You're not racing in my championship next year, mate." Okay, there's Alex Van Gien, the corporate chauffeur's back driver, and Cam Ho just taking his helmet off. And while Barul Smith we're going to see in the next heat race, that's him in the green and red helmet mostly. As the drivers now switch, we've got an interesting lineup for this next race, which I'll be running through as soon as it appears on our timing screens. Okay, I'm now here with Ruben Boutons from Holland. He's one of the top drivers internationally, and Ruben, it's great to have you here. You've been doing some winning and running at the front generally. How's it going for you in this BRKC this year?
Yeah, so far it's going really well. I've good results so far, and it's great to be here. Great to have competitions like this with a lot of good drivers and just high-level competition, good organization. I really like it.
Absolutely. Sister Annalene, she's doing very well too, isn't she, in this contest? Both of you in the final, do you think?
So far we are doing good. We are, I think, 4th and 5th in the ranking so far, but there can still a lot happen in the semi-finals, and we'll see. Hopefully we'll be together in the final, but you never know. It's always, you have to be concentrated and focused on every race. So
it's too early to call, really, but looking good as we speak. How do you feel about the competition generally? Does it seem quite tough here in Britain, the British Rental Kart Championship?
Yeah, I think the level of go-kart drivers is quite good, especially if I compare it to last year. The level I think it's better, and the organization is good. So if the organization is good, more good drivers will show up, and the level will rise again. So yeah, I think compared to some other countries in Europe, Great Britain is doing really well and is getting better and better.
That's good to know. It's a tough one, because obviously the winner here is going through to the Kart World Championship. Obviously I know you from the Kart World Championship, and it's a heck of a tough deal, that one. Are you racing the KWC this year?
Yes, I did. I became 7th in Denmark in Aarhus. It was a tough competition. I was in the race for the championship the whole week, but then the final was not really my race, and I ended up 7th, so not bad, but yeah, I had some better results some years back.
It was a tough one, yeah, absolutely. And what are your plans for the rest of this season? Which championships are you competing in this year?
Well, I'm doing the Dutch Outdoor Championships, and I'm planning to do the KWC as well. It's in Brazil this year, so I'm really looking forward for that. Yeah, so far BRKC is also one of my main goals for this year. So.
Well, we wish you well in the rest of the competition. Ruben Boutons, thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. The sign of the cross, that's Tom Kemping. We're looking at this there, and Kim Encombe. Kim Encombe's a very interesting driver, not really known in BRKC up until now. Jeremy Gumbly, well known for endurance racing with Baron Racing. He had a tricky time in his heat race. Sean Briley, of course, has a lot of points to make up. He's looking pretty confident, though. Ever confident is Sean Briley as we move back down the list of competitors. Annalene Boutons and she's going to be feeling confident. She, of course, is the sister of Ruben Boutens, who we saw finishing fourth in the other race. That is Lewis Manley. He's been showing very well indeed in the red suit that we've just seen. Anwar Barul-Smith is going to be fully focused on this one. He really needs to make up a lot of points. Dan Healy we saw finish a close second in the early race with Anwar Barul-Smith. They're going to be going out nose to tail, and we can expect some speed from them. Obviously on the qualifying run, it's out and onto the track, a complete lap just to make sure things are fully warm, and then the single qualifying lap starts, and it really plays into the hands of the driver, who can just explode off the blocks, put the speed on straight away. Someone like Kim Ensom has shown well in that. Jeremy Gumbly will see what he can do, because he's used to having a much longer race. He stars in 24-hour races at Teesside and the British 24-hour, and at Le Mans in the 24-hour there, the 24-hour kart. So the karts are all taken to the track. The drivers want to get out on the track, not too close to the karts in front, but they don't want to come out so late that the leaders are coming round and catching up with them. So Dan Healy has just left the pitch. There's Dan, we can see on the camera shot there. It's a bit close up in that mid-pack. That's Ensom with Jeremy Gumbly and Sean Brierley. Yeah. And Annalene Boutens there in view, and then it's Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley, one of the top point scorers this weekend, possibly going to be champion on this circuit in their regional championship here. Okay, so that's Tom Kemping we just saw out in shot, and Kim Ensom and Jeremy Gumbly. They're the first three onto the track. They're actually on their qualifying lap now, so we'll see what they can do. Tom Kemping turning in at the end of the straight. Kim Ensom and Jeremy Gumbly. Jeremy Gumbly will not really be worried about catching Kim Ensom, because Kim Ensom is very quick indeed there. And here's Annalene Boutens, followed by Manley. And at the back there, that is, oh no, that's Annalene Boutens, sorry, that's Annalene Boutens with Lewis Manley. Two of the fastest people we've seen this weekend. Lewis Manley, potentially champion of this track championship. He's well up on points. And Annalene Boutens, the reigning ladies world champion. The world championships last year were in Denmark. Next year, of course, or this year, should I say, are actually in Brazil. World championship travelling around, as you'd expect, a week-long competition. Okay, so the times are all in now, and it's Lewis Manley who's taken the pole position. Lewis Manley is on the pole from Anwar Barul-Smith. Annalene Boutens is third. Daniel Healy. Dan Healy we saw battling with Barul-Smith. He's fourth. Jeremy Gumbly comes in fifth. That's a good show from him. James Martin. James Martin, we've seen some great runs by him so far this weekend. He's in sixth place. Lewis Walters is always a factor. Tom Kemping is, well, he's won a race, won the heat races. He's down in eighth. Kim Ensom, who's also won a heat race, he's ninth, and Sean Brierley comes in 10th. Now, the competitors do have the chance to exchange for another kart if they're not happy after qualifying. It doesn't look as though anyone's taking that option. The most likely, of course, would have been Sean Brierley, but he's obviously not feeling that it's equipment in any way. Oh yes, in fact, somebody's moving forward. Yes, that's Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley, now that we can see, is moving forward to take up his pole position. There he is. Lewis Manley, one of the stars of this particular circuit. Here at Formula Fast in Milton Keynes. Cracking indoor facility, a great place for the British Rental Kart Championship. And there's Anwar Barul-Smith, Annalene Boutens now pulling into position, Dan Healy, and here comes long distance star Jeremy Gumbly. Following Jeremy Gumbly, we're expecting to see James Martin. There's James Martin, the young Welshman. He's been starring in the track at Cardiff, the team sport track at Cardiff. He's come here and making a name for himself at British Championship level. And then behind him it's Lewis Walters, Tom Kemping, Kim Ensom and Sean Brierley bringing up the rear there. Sean Brierley really needs to do something in this race. He's got a lot of work to do. If anyone can do it, it's Brierley. He's been racing out in America and the Kart Sport Nationals over in California, and it really is quite an interesting one. Okay, so Lewis Manley leading them round. He's trying to control the pace. He's got to keep them backed up. We need a good clean start on this one. Lewis Manley just holding pace to back him up. Surely we're going to be going green on this one. Anticipating the green light. Lewis Manley picks up the pace and we've got the green. Lewis Manley gets a great start, and Anwar Barul-Smith behind him. We're seeing the rest of the field streaming through. But there's Lewis Manley in the lead. Lewis Manley from Anwar Barul-Smith, Annalene Boutens, Dan Healy. Oh, and there's contact already, and the cart's almost in the wall. On the opening lap here, and they're still fighting. That's action down the back, and that's Kim Ensom. Kim Ensom has dropped down to 9th place. Manley turns in with Anwar Barul-Smith behind him, Annalene Boutens, and they change position. Jeremy Gumbly moving into 4th place ahead of Dan Healy there. Jeremy Gumbly, the endurance star, is moving up the field. He's into 4th place now. The tail comes through now. That's still Sean Briley down in 10th place. Manley, Burrell Smith, Boutons, and there's Jeremy Gumbly in 4th. Jeremy Gumbly now has to bridge the gap to Annalene Boutons. Next on his hit list is the ladies world champion. Field comes through, still Sean Briley in last. And here comes Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley. He's not getting away from Burrell Smith. Burrell Smith closing in all the time. Look at that, it's down to less than a cart length as we can see on the screen. So Lewis Manley got a great start there, but he's not able to break the challenge of Anwar Burrell Smith, and they're pulling away from Annalene Boutons. Down the back there, we've got a cart in the pits. And early pitter, that's James. Yes, it is. It's James Martin. James Martin is coming out of the pits now. He's down in 10th place, but that could be an inspired choice to pit so early. Okay, the leaders. That's Lewis Manley, just out of view, and Anwar Burrell Smith. A gap to Boutons, and then a gap to Gumbly, Healy, and the rest. So, there's the leader, Lewis Manley in the red, followed by Anwar Burrell Smith in the black with green and red helmet. And we've got another pit stop. That's Dan. Yes, it is. It's Dan Healy. Dan Healy comes through. He comes to the second stop, and they're releasing him immediately. So, can he come out in front of James Martin? And we've got another one. It's Sean Briley coming out the pits now. Sean Briley coming out side by side with James Martin. Oh, and Briley just misses James Martin. Now that's very interesting because Briley potentially has made up quite a lot of time in this. There's Lewis Manley being challenged now by Anwar Burrell Smith. Anwar Burrell Smith getting ever closer. This is even closer than he seemed at the start. So Anwar Burrell Smith may well be challenging Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley, one of the local experts here. Here comes Manley in the lead with Burrell Smith right behind him. And the pit stop for Kim Ensign out to camera shot. But here he is in the pits now. Kim Ensign, a race winner yesterday. He's hopping in the cart just to try and give it that little bit of go. And he's come out just in front of James Martin, I believe. Yes, he is. That's in 8th place. He comes out in 8th place. So there's Ensign in 8th, and Martin and Briley bring up the tail. That's going to be quite a tight battle. Ensign, Martin and Briley, they're the final runners, 8th, 9th and 10th. But importantly, they've pitted. Okay, so here's Dan Healy. He's also one of the guys to come to the pits. He's actually running 7th, but some way ahead of that little battle we saw behind. There's Jeremy Gumbly. He's putting on a good show this weekend. Used to much longer outdoor races, but he's converted to indoor racing pretty well. Certainly making the semi-final. There's Lewis Manley in the lead. Anwar Burrell Smith still on his tail. Annalene Boutons dropping back that's a little bit further from the leaders. And closing in on her is Jeremy Gumbly all the time. Jeremy Gumbly is closing in on 3rd place. Annalene Boutons. Here they go. So look at this. Okay. Coming through the start-finish line there. Starts flashing past. And there's Annalene Boutons with Jeremy Gumbly right in her case now. And behind Gumbly is Walters, who's actually falling back into the hands, really, of Tom Kemping. So Gumbly is making inroads on Annalene Boutons for 3rd. So turning in, Lewis Manley, Anwar Burrell Smith. But here's the battle now. It's Annalene Boutons just ahead of Jeremy Gumbly. Jeremy Gumbly is bridging the gap from Lewis Walters to Annalene Boutons. And that's the lead battle, as we know. It's one cart gap between, really, Burrell Smith, who's challenging Lewis Manley for the lead. So here come the leaders. Lewis Manley, Anwar Burrell Smith. Now this is important. How's the gap going to be between Boutons? We've gone out picture there. So there's the lead pair. Here's Annalene Boutons with Jeremy Gumbly almost on her tail now, with Lewis Walters slightly falling back and Tom Kemping following through. So the leaders, Manley and Burrell Smith. But can we see Gumbly closing in on Annalene Boutons? Well, Jeremy Gumbly waving about something. Not sure what that was all about. Annalene Boutons, a quick check over her shoulder. Is Gumbly going to pit? No, he's not. I was wondering if that was what the wave was all about, but he's right on the tail now of the reigning ladies world champion, Annalene Boutons. She took that title in Denmark last year. Oh, she's waving away, obviously feeling a nudge here and there from Jeremy Gumbly. That's still Annalene Boutons waving back at the endurance star, which is Jeremy Gumbly. Turning in then. Lewis Manley doing all he can to stay in front. Her cart's gap there to Anwar Burrell Smith. The two leaders following through past the pits there, and look at this battle behind them. Well, they're back with the leaders then. It's Lewis Manley still in front of Anwar Burrell Smith, opening up a bit of a gap maybe. Anwar Burrell Smith, we've seen him on the bumper of Lewis Manley, but somehow there's a little bit of a gap that's there. Now what's happening behind? Now we need to stay what's gone on behind. So the two leaders are coming on through, but what will have happened? Will we see Jeremy Gumbly Jeremy Gumbly has in fact taken position. Yes, out to camera shot. Jeremy Gumbly has taken position, and here comes Ed White down the inside. Ed White takes a position from, Lewis Walters. Ed White, previous race. Lewis Walters takes position from Annalene Boutens. Annalene Boutens drops from 3rd to 5th, and she's trying now to work on Lewis Walters. Lewis Walters has taken advantage of the confusion there with Annalene Boutens, I think, and she's come past. Yes, Annalene Boutens has taken the position back again, and Lewis Walters waving away. Obviously a little bit of contact maybe. So race settles into the order. It's Manley from Burrell Smith. There's Jeremy Gumbly on his own now, but Annalene Boutens has moved back in front of Lewis Walters, and Walters down the inside. Walters takes the position back. What a move. And here comes Tom Kemping. Kemping on the outside of Annalene Boutens. Oh, cameras come back in, and Annalene Boutens just takes the place back again. A big shot there by Tom Kemping. It didn't quite work off, but what great entertainment it was. Okay, those guys further down the order. That's Sean Bradley, Kim Ensign first of all, and then James Martin and Sean Brierley at the tail. So there's James Martin there at the tail there, with Sean Brierley trying to challenge him for position. Sean Brierley really pushing it here. And we're back with the front group there. Well, the second group, there's Jeremy Gumbly. He's on his own now. Jeremy Gumbly pits. Out to camera shot, Jeremy Gumbly. Here's Jeremy Gumbly in the pits. That's his first stop. Oh, he hits the board again. They're feeling they're a bit slow pulling it away. The organisers do need to see the cart come to a stop. And Jeremy Gumbly, that's a pretty good stop really. We'll see where he comes out. He's on his own. He's ahead of Dan Healy, who's just going to come into view. There's Dan Healy flashing past the camera. Kim Ensign we're looking at past the pits, and James Martin with Sean Brierley right on his tail. These two have been running nose tail throughout. So there's Ensign, and here comes the Martin and Brierley battle. Brierley's still running right at the tail. He needs a lot more points than this if he's going to get into the final. Sean Brierley struggling away. Normally he's one of the most competitive in the field. Today he's made a semi-final, but there's Tom Kemping. He's pitting out of 5th place. Will he lose a slot? Jeremy Gumbly's pitted, as we know, so Jeremy may take that. Yes, he does. And Dan Healy's going to come out. Oh, Dan Healy challenging Tom Kemping. So there's Gumbly. What's happened behind with Healy and Kemping? Kemping's still in front there. There's Healy following him. So there's Tom Kemping with Dan Healy following him. And then we see Kim Ensign. So here come the leaders. There's Lewis Manley, Anwar Burrell Smith. Lewis Manley still with that gap from Anwar Burrell Smith. The gap has grown a little bit. We've seen it a little bit closer than that before. That's the tail. They're the tail enders now, and here comes the battle for the lead. Although it's really a lead that's extending for Lewis Manley now. Lewis Manley continues in his lead from Anwar Burrell Smith, neither having pitted. And Lewis Walters being chased again by Annalene Boutens. They of course are now battling over 3rd because Jeremy Gumbly pitted and took himself out of the equation there for the moment. There's Kim Ensign. Here come the battle at the back. That's James Martin with Sean Brierley on his case. Sean Brierley using every bit of his serious amount of experience. There's Sean Brierley, a formidable competitor all over the world, and he's tackling the young Welshman James Martin in his first serious competition. James Martin, he showed up well this weekend, a real man for the future. There's Kim Ensign. We'll see what the battle of the back's going to be, will we? Yes it is, and it's still James Martin. One to keep an eye on for the future, but holding off Sean Brierley in this case. Tom Kemping and Dan Healy with Kim Ensign trying his best. Kim Ensign won a race earlier this weekend. There's Kim Ensign. He won earlier yesterday, won a heat race, but he's now languishing in 8th place out of the 10 in this semi-final. It's probably not going to be enough to get him into the final. He has not scored enough points despite a win. Okay, there's Kim Ensign. He needs to pull forward and get more points in this one if he's going to secure a place in the final. Okay, Annalene Boutens. Now, she's down in 4th place there, but has yet to pit, so may come out the pits in 5th place. Jeremy Gumbly, of course, is still out there having pitted. He's behind that pair of Annalene Boutens and Lewis Walters. Annalene probably actually could do with more points than this if she's going to get into the final. She's had some great results winning a heat race, but does need more points. And here's Anwar Burrell Smith into the pits. This is his crucial pit stop here. The 2nd place driver, Anwar Burrell Smith. This needs to be good. It's a little bit average, but I suppose he's getting away with some speed. Can he come out in front of Walters? Yes, he can. He's blending onto the track just in front of Lewis Walters with Annalene Boutens in tow. So what will happen here? We're going to look for Anwar Burrell Smith. Yes, Burrell Smith is secure up ahead there of Lewis Walters. He's still up ahead, but Lewis Walters will be trying to get Anwar while he's still cold after the pit stop. We believe we've got the race leader into the pits. Yes, we have. The race leader, Lewis Manley's in the pits. There's the leader, Lewis Manley. He's still in the lead, and the second place battle is closing up on him. He's coming out of the pits, and surely he's going to keep the lead. But here we go. There's Manley leaving the pits. There's Burrell Smith. There's Walters. There's Boutons. This is absolute epic race. And what will happen? It's still Manley with Burrell Smith right behind him. Walters and Boutons behind him in turn. So this is the first the first 4 positions in this race. Battling it out, and here they come. It's Lewis Manley in the lead. Anwar Burrell Smith right on his tail. And there's Lewis Walters in the black with Annalene Boutons trying to move him along. The organisers talking about something, I think it's the weight check for the next race. All the drivers have to weigh in at over 90 kilos. And you've got to finish the race at over 90 kilos. This ensures that there's no advantage to any lighter driver. Really is coming down to skill, and we've seen a heck of a lot of skill on display here this weekend. Okay, so we've still got Lewis Manley in the lead, but it's not an easy lead. He's got Anwar Burrell Smith. Anwar Burrell Smith knows he's now got to do it. Those laps are ticking away, and Burrell Smith is right on the case of Lewis Manley. He's piling on the pressure, trying to force a mistake. Maybe opening up a slight gap to Lewis Walters with Annalene Boutons in 4th. And through in 5th place comes Jeremy Gumby. There's the 2 race leaders. Annalene Boutons the 4th of those. There she is, reigning ladies world champion. Here come the leaders though. It's Lewis Manley. He's looking to win the track championship here, and potentially looking to win the British Championship here if he can keep this sort of performance up. He goes in a bit tight, brings him out a bit wide. Burrell Smith takes advantage of that, and that's why Burrell Smith's even closer than ever before. Burrell Smith taking a shorter line, closing in on Manley. And they're pulling away from Lewis Walters in 3rd place and Annalene Boutons in 4th. There's definitely a gap opening up there, because there's the lead. Lewis Manley from Burrell Smith. Lewis Walters falling behind, and there's a change position at the tail. Just to let those of you interested, there's a change position at the tail. Sean Briley has indeed passed James Martin. And that puts the young Welshman into 10th place. Okay, Burrell Smith now working hard on Lewis Manley. You can see the leaders, they're crossing the line again. We've got about 7 minutes remaining maximum. And the 2 leaders, Burrell Smith chasing down Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley being superb in his performances all weekend long, really making himself contender. Surely he's going to make the final no matter what happens. Of course, winning this race carries more points. The semi-final is not a knockout, it just allows you to score more points, and then the top 10 point scorers go through to the final. So, Lewis Manley past the pits to complete another lap from Anwar Burrell Smith. Lewis Walters and Annalene Boutons are dropping away from this lead battle. They're definitely falling away now. 3rd and 4th is going to be the best they can hope for. There they are, Lewis Walters, Annalene Boutons. As we can see the gap now between Lewis Walters and the man he's chasing, Burrell Smith, is definitely opening up there. Because here are the 2 leaders, and look at that gap back to 3rd. There's Lewis Walters in 3rd. The 2 leaders still slugging it out. It's a real cat and mouse job, as Anwar Burrell Smith is trying every way he can. He cannot think of a way past Lewis Manley, the current leader. Right, so we've still got Manley in the lead, as we can see here. So Manley leads from Burrell Smith. Burrell Smith seems to sort of relax the pressure a little bit. It might be that Manley has sped up. We're looking at some excellent lap times, some of the fastest we've seen of the weekend. 32.98 for Lewis Manley, 32.96 for Anwar Burrell Smith. It is that close, and they are both putting in the lap times. They were the last laps they've done, and they're getting faster with every lap. So what an epic performance we're seeing. So we're right down in the serious times now. Annalene Boutons pitch. She's a late pitter here. That's Annalene Boutons, the reigning ladies world champion. She's heading back onto the track. Well, where will she work out? She has indeed lost her place to Jeremy Gumbley. Annalene Boutons has lost her place to Jeremy Gumbley. And there's Gumbley. And here is Boutons being followed by Tom Kempink there. So Annalene Boutons, there she is, just out the pits, with Tom Kempink trying to sneak a position there if he can. Seeing Kim Emerson just move there. And there's Jeremy Gumbley. And there's the battle behind. Annalene Boutons waving about something to Tom Kempink. There, her brother pointing at Annalene from the side. That was Ruben Boutons, who we saw in the previous race, coming in 4th. That's Annalene's brother. And we've got a car coming out the pits now. That, of course, is Lewis Walters, and he is going to cycle back in. Where is he coming? Yes, he's just come out in front of Annelien Buitens. There he is in the black suit. That's Lewis Walters. Lewis Walters with Annelien Buitens right behind. Tom Kemping, and there's Dan Healy in picture. Kim Henson is trying to make an impression on the group ahead. So Jeremy Gumbly just managing to stay ahead now with a reasonable gap there of Lewis Walters, Annelien Buitens and Tom Kemping. That gap between Gumbly and Walters is going to be crucial. Gumbly's going to be hoping that Walters, instead of closing on him, can be in such a battle with Buitens that he slows her down and everyone backs up behind him. So here is your leader back on the screen. Manley leading from Burrell Smith. Still Manley in the lead with Burrell Smith starting to close in and thinking about a little more pressure. We haven't got long in this race remaining. This is the battle for the lead. There's no more pit stops. It's going to be battling for the lead now. Burrell Smith's got to do it on the track or not at all. 32.947, and even faster lap by Lewis Manley. But 32.8 by Burrell Smith. Burrell Smith is actually closing in on the leader as if that was possible. So they're the two tail enders, and here come the leaders. So there's Lewis Manley leading from Anwar Burrell Smith, and it's a big massive gap to third place. And Anwar Burrell Smith is doing all he can. That's the battle for the last place. There's James Martin just slightly falling away now from Sean Brierley. That's no problem really. Sean Brierley's a very, very quick driver. Okay, so still this battle behind. There's Lewis Walters and Kim Henson starting to close up on this. This could build up into a 5-car fight. So Walters, Buitens, Kemping, and then it's going to be Healy and Henson. There's Walters still holding off Annelien Buitens from Tom Kemping, and we see coming off the hairpin there, a little bit of a gap to Dan Healy and a little bit of a gap to Kim Henson, but it's closing right up. That's obviously because Walters is trying to hold off Buitens. There's Walters coming down the straight now. 32.832 for Lewis Manley. That's the fastest lap we've seen possibly of the weekend. An outstanding run there by the race leader. That's what it takes to run ahead of Anwar Burrell Smith. You're going to have to be setting lap records to do it. Okay, so that battle still rages. There's Lewis Walters just coming off the hairpin now. Walters in the black, followed by Buitens and Kemping. And Henson, he looked like he was going to be closing in a bit, but that's not happening. So Gumbly comes through, and then Walters, Buitens and Kemping. Meanwhile, the leader still set a steering pace. Lewis Manley continues to up the lap record. It's 32.8. That's absolutely astounding. An amazing run by Lewis Manley. But he has to set these lap times if he's going to stay ahead of Anwar Burrell Smith. That's what it takes at this level. Still got that absorbing battle there for fourth place. Jeremy Gumbly is in third place now. A great run by the endurance star. That's him heading down to the hairpin. This is Jeremy Gumbly now. Races with Team Barron in the EPEC endurance races and the 24-hour marathons at Teesside and in Le Mans, stretching his arm there. But this absorbing battle here, that's Lewis Walters. Not long to go now, surely. We've only got a couple of minutes remaining in the race. And there's Burrell Smith still trying to close down Lewis Walters. Now Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley is closing in on the first of the back markers. James Martin has been passed, but they're closing in on that battle there. And it's going to be Sean Brierley that he needs to overtake. Will Brierley get the blue flag? Will we see the blue flag shown to Brierley? They're about to show him. Yes, they've shown Sean Brierley the blue flag. And he's going to have to get out of the way of the race leader as they come onto the backstretch. Here it is. Brierley waves him through. Brierley waving the race leader through. A wave of thanks from Lewis Manley. And Anwar Burrell Smith has not suffered at all in that one. Easy to get sandwiched between the two race leaders. But Sean Brierley, he's enough of a competitor to stay out of the way. And a win there. That's Lewis Manley who wins, with Anwar Burrell Smith second and Jeremy Gumbly surely is going to be third. Now what's going to happen behind? Lewis Walters is going to take that fourth place, but all over the back of Annelien Buitens, out of camera shot, is in fact Tom Kemping. So Lewis Walters from Annelien Buitens and Tom Kemping and Dan Healy and Kim Henson. Wow, what a race that was. And here comes the winner. That's Lewis Manley from Anwar Burrell Smith. Sean Brierley and James Martin, of course, were a lap down. So what an outstanding result from these racers here. Lewis Manley had to work so hard. He's set a new record for this weekend, and we're going to have to check how that does on the overall lap record, but certainly that's the fastest we've seen anybody this weekend. There's Lewis Manley, the race winner from Anwar Barul Smith back there in the 17 kart. So they're just switching the engines off and checking the weight. Sean Briley there and James Martin in picture now. They, of course, were a lap down. There's Jeremy Gumbly. That's a great result for the endurance ace. And then Lewis Walters holding off Annalene Boutens. Well, she's switched position with Tom Kemping on the slowing down lap. Dan Healy. Kim Ensign looked like he was going to throw himself into that big battle there with Lewis Walters and Annalene Boutens, but it didn't quite work out that way. There's Lewis Walters walking back on screen, and there's Sean Briley. He's going to be out of the competition now, but well, he's got a lot to look forward to this year. Well, I'm now here with Connor Marsh. Connor Marsh, one of the younger competitors in this particular championship, started racing the British Rental Kart Championship last year. We saw you win a heat race there quite comfortably, actually. It was a really, really good win. How about that race?
I was very happy with that. I didn't really expect to get in the pole position. I was hoping to be like quite far up there, about maybe 5th, because that's what I was aiming for. Then the marshal pointed to me first. I was like, of course I am. And then I rolled forward, and then the restart, I thought, oh God, this is going well. And then the guy behind me, luckily, was slightly slower and held a few people up apparently, and then I just managed to pull away and get there.
Yeah, I mean, it was about the biggest margin of victory we've seen all weekend, so that was quite something result-wise. The rest of the competition, obviously, you should be in the semi-finals. How do you feel about your chances as a rule?
I'm hoping I will be in the semi-finals. My target before the weekend was top 30, which is the semi-finals, so hopefully I'll get in there.
Ah, superb. And for the rest of the season, obviously this is the British Championships, what are you doing for the rest of the season racing-wise?
I'm also doing Cov Kart and the odd NKL event and whatever else I can find to do. I may be invited into some EKL teams at the team, and I'm hopefully going to try and get to the 24-hour as well. So.
The 24-hour races are pretty tough, but we wish you well for the rest of the championship because it's looking good so far, so good luck. All right, thank you, Connor Marsh.
Thank you.
So, 2 epic semi-finals. We've now got one more. As I said, the purpose of the semi-finals is elimination, but it's not elimination on position. It's elimination on point scoring. Making the semi-final, not getting eliminated out of the heats, just gives you the right to continue scoring, and then the top 10 point scorers move through to the final itself. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we're looking there at Sam Spinell. Sam Spinell, of course, had all sorts of up and down. Luke Hornsby there. Luke Hornsby, we've seen some good runs by him in 2nd place, I think, the highlight. That's Jake Campbell-Mills. He was 3rd in the Junior World Championship last year. And then we've got Crispin Kirker. And that looks like Andrew Duff there in the final kart in the lineup. It's back down. Luke Hornsby, some really good showings from him. And Sam Spinell. And that looks like Russell Endine. Russell Endine's a very formidable competitor. And at the front, I think that's Harry Neal. We'll be double checking on the order that they're going out. So Harry Neal going to be leading the way. We've seen some good runs by him. We had a particularly tight battle between him and Tyler Mays, who's been quite a fierce competitor this weekend. We've seen him in some of the best overtaking moves all weekend, although as the competition goes on, the moves have been getting braver, but also more skilled. Harry Neal there is going to be looking to set that first lap, and we'll see how that pans out. Can he take pole position? He's capable of it, but it's quite a serious competition, this one. Okay, so they're heading out onto the track now. There's Russell Endine. Russell Endine was the heavyweight champion last year, British Rental Kart Championship, when the overall was running at 70 kilos and there was a special class of heavyweight which was 90. Russell Endine won that, but he was actually in the mix overall as well. So it's not surprising to see that he has won 2 of the heat races he was in. He's got a lot of points there. He's looking to add to it, but he's a very fierce competitor indeed. So the karts now are completing their opening lap. It's Harry Neal indeed who's leading them across. Ted Monfils. Ted Monfils is that 2nd kart. And then Andy O'Neill, Russell Endine, Sam Spinell, Tom Campion. Tom Campion is a teammate in Barron Racing to Jeremy Gumbly, who we saw come 3rd in the previous race. Luke Hornsby is up there too. Jake Campbell-Mills, who we've already spoken about. Crispin Zerka's worth mention. He's one of the local racers looking to do well. Andrew Duff has scored with, put himself in the semi-final, particularly with 2 outstanding third-place results. Here's Russell Endine in picture now. That's Russell Endine. Expect to see something from him. Sam Spinell has had an up-and-down championship. Luke Hornsby and Jake Campbell-Mills there. And we're looking at Tom Campion. Okay, so Ted Monfils is currently on the pole with a 33.3. Can he be beaten? Harry Neal is second. Jake Campbell-Mills comes in second place, but still Ted Monfils. Crispin Zerka into second place. Crispin Zerka in second place. And that's the final lineup. Ted Monfils, what a result by him. He was the second kart out there that we saw. He's on the pole by 0.17 of a second. Jake Campbell-Mills, 0.31. And Harry Neal is running in fourth, with a lap time that's only 0.36 behind. Sam Spinell is fifth. Russell Endine down in sixth place, only 0.4 second off though. 0.4 of a second, that's an astounding amount when you think about it. I mean, if you try and count 0.4 of a second, that's not very much at all. But that's what it takes to find yourself down in sixth place. Andy Neal, 0.46 behind. Andrew Duff is in eighth place, 0.59. Luke Hornsby, a little bit of a surprise to be down in ninth place, but Tom Campion, he's 0.9 of a second off, within a second, but at BRKC level this year, you find yourself in 10th place with that one. But it's Ted Monfils. Ted Monfils, one of the visiting drivers. Crispin Zerka, one of the local racers. And then Jake Campbell-Mills, who was third in the Junior World Championship last year. Outstanding result from him in Denmark. Then we'll be looking at Harry Neal. Harry Neal, of course, we saw leading them out. So he was first kart out on track. Sam Spinell. Sam Spinell's had a really up and down tough time. And they're the tail enders, pulled into position there. Tom Campion at the rear. Well, the organisers look fairly happy with the lineup. Hopefully we'll get the green light at the first attempt on this one. And we're looking back down the order. Ted Monfils is obviously going to be leading the way around. He's going to need to keep a steady pace. It's not always easy through these final turns of the lap because obviously karts are speeding up, slowing down. And Ted Monfils does not want to get mugged at the start, so it's going to be important to him to get the pace right. He's got Crispin Zerka behind him and Jake Campbell-Mills. Okay, the pace picks up now. We're looking for the green. We're going green. It's Ted Monfils leads the way from Crispin Zerka. Jake Campbell-Mills. We've got no action yet, but Harry Neal is already getting pretty racy on Campbell-Mills, and he's got Sam Spinell with something to do about it behind him. It's bunching up at the back a little bit as the field comes around that turn. Entering the top turn now, and a long sweeping bend onto the back straight. And here comes Ted Monfils with the lead from Crispin Zerka, Jake Campbell-Mills, and Harry Neal and the rest of the field streaming through past the camera. There's Tom Campion bringing up the rear at the moment, but he's an expert endurance racer. He races with Jeremy Gumbley in the Crack Baron Racing team, and so expect results from him. So Ted Monfils runs through in the lead there, around that tight snail section of the track. Monfils beginning to build up a little bit of a lead from Crispin Zerka. In turn, pulling out from Jake Campbell-Mills. Jake Campbell-Mills under pressure, but Harry Neal is not going to make a move there. So there's Ted Monfils. He's running really well in the lead, trying to open up a gap over Crispin Zerka. Crispin Zerka, one of the local experts in the blue there, opening up a gap over Jake Campbell-Mills, who was, of course, third in the Junior World Championship last year. So there's Campbell-Mills in third, and he's fighting to hold up position from Harry Neal. And Harry Neal in turn has got Sam Spinell on his case. Here comes the leader, Ted Monfils, Crispin Zerka and Jake Campbell-Mills. It's opening up a little bit at the front. It's a little bit wider open than we've seen recently. There's Ted Monfils, all in black. Ted Monfils working those final turns. Will we see anyone pitting on this opening lap? It will be a real gamble. Yes, we have got someone. It's Luke Hornsby. Luke Hornsby taking to pit road. Luke Hornsby, first pitter, there he is, makes the first stop and rolling forward. Here comes ready for the second stop. He must make this a clean one. He's underway. That's a good stop, that is. That's going to see him well. He was running a little bit lower than he'd like. He's resumed in 10th, but he may well leapfrog some of the drivers ahead. Okay, here into picture then. Ted Monfils leading there on our screen. We can see the smooth style of Ted Monfils there around the inside of the corner there. tightest line all the way. It's a little bit different in indoor karting. You need to hold a longer, tighter line, shortest way possible. Here comes Ted Monfils into picture in a second. There he is, smooth as can be. Crispin Zerka, he knows the track like nobody else around here. He really has got a lot of experience on this track, and that's why he's in front and pulling away from Jake Campbell-Mills. And a real close contest behind him, because behind Campbell-Mills is Sam Spinell and Harry Neal. Spinell seems to have passed Harry Neal somewhere, because they're now starting to make inroads on Jake Campbell-Mills, the second of these two cars. That's Sam Spinell we're looking at. He's got his arm in the air. Will he be making a pit stop? Yes, he does. Sam Spinell with the dual nationality, the Belgian and British nationality. He comes in, stops on the first stop. He's bouncing around in the car to just try and take the load off it as he picks up pace coming down the pit lane and out onto the track. He takes a, well, he resumed in 9th place because Luke Hornsby was not able to make up ground enough to leapfrog him on the pit stop there. So Sam Spinell now runs in 9th, but he has pitted. And a battle there going on between Andy O'Neill and Russell Ending. Andy O'Neill trying to bend it. There's Andy O'Neill waving away. And that's Andy O'Neill in the pits now, I believe. Yes, it is. It's Andy O'Neill taking the second stop there. He, of course, was battling away there with Russell Ending. He has deemed it a good time to bail out of that and get on into the pits. He'll be running in clean air, of course, and may find that he's faster overall by running on his own without the excitement of a battle holding him up. There's Russell Ending coming into the picture now. Andrew Duff and Tom Campion. Now they're battling 5th, 6th and 7th. There's Tom Campion there, endurance expert. He's waving, he's coming into bits. Tom Campion bits out in 7th place. Okay, so here's Tom Campion in 7th place. One of these endurance experts with Baron Racing. Some of the best in the business are on the Baron Racing team. Tom Campion being one of them. He now resumes the race. He's resumed in 10th. We'll see how that shakes out with the various pit stops that are yet to come. So, Ted Monfils continues to lead. We're looking down there at Luke Hornsby running at the tail there. There's Tom Campion. And that's Sam Spinell. We saw one of the earlier pitters, Sam Spinell. And there's Andy O'Neill behind him. And Andy O'Neill is in front of Luke Hornsby. But there's Luke Hornsby we're looking at, and he's not too far behind Andy O'Neill there. So may well be able to catch up with O'Neill. Two racing brothers in this contest, Sam Spinell, and next we're looking for O'Neill and Hornsby. So Spinell goes through, and has Hornsby closing on O'Neill? Well, no, not really. Maybe O'Neill's actually pulling out a little bit of a gap there, as we see on the TV screen with Tom Campion at the tail of the field. So Sam Spinell comes through on the camera picture there. Andy O'Neill, and I think Andy O'Neill is in fact slightly edging out over Luke Hornsby. We'll see how that goes. Another pit stop, and that's Andrew Duff. Andrew Duff pitting out of 6th place, and he's going to lose some places. I think that was O'Neill going through, and there's Hornsby going through. So Andrew Duff resumes in 9th place. He's 1 place ahead of Tom Campion there. So, which one? Okay. And a word from the race organisers, an incredible development. A warning flag was issued to Sam Spinell, and he has not, he's not responded to it. And does he have to come into pits? Yeah, he's ignored the black flag to come into pits. He's going to be in a world of trouble. Will they disqualify him? Are they going to bring him into the pits just for a stop and go, or will he get DQ'd? The black flag's been shown to him again. He's acknowledged it this time. He's waving as if he's not sure what it's about, but he's going to have to call in the pits on this lap. He's waving his arm. The drivers are given an orange bad pass signal if a pass is deemed unfair, and that's what was deemed with Sam Spinell, and a changed position. Luke Hornsby there has moved in front of Andy O'Neill, but the excitement with Sam Spinell off camera there has doesn't seem to have responded to anything yet. Well, Sam Spinell there just in the camera shot, he has received a black flag. He received a warning flag which he needed to make a pit stop for, and he's not done that, so he's been black flagged by the organisers. And Harry Neal comes into the pits. Harry Neal pitting out of 4th place, and away he goes. Harry Neal back into the race there, and in the pits that's Sam Spinell. Sam Spinell is out of the event. Sam Spinell is out of the race. He's arguing with the organisers. There's Sam Spinell. It's not going to do him any favours. Sam Spinell has been forced to retire. He's been disqualified from the event. He's had a really tough run. He's had a mixture of good results and bad results in this event, and now he's out of it altogether. The one thing you cannot do is ignore signals, and we've got a pit stop though for Jake Campbell-Mills out of camera shot. This is Jake Campbell-Mills. He seems to have come in, he believes, for a penalty maybe, but Harry Neal, I think, has just passed him for position. That'll be for fourth. There's Harry Neal running ahead of Jake Campbell-Mills. So Jake Campbell-Mills being brought in, and he resumes now ahead, or behind, sorry, of Harry Neal. So onto the back stretch. That's Harry Neal there being chased down by Jake Campbell-Mills. They're battling over fourth place. Harry Neal running in fourth place there with the green visor strip on the white helmet. Another driver really not afraid to throw it around a little bit, keeps the speed though. And here's Luke Hornsby. He's got ahead of Andy O'Neill and just gone out of view there. Russell Endine just passing through. Russell Endine is running third. And that's Ted Monfils. Ted Monfils, the current race leader from Crispin Zerka. Crispin Zerka falling back a couple of seconds now. He's 2 seconds behind. We're looking now, there's Ted Monfils. Now look for Zerka. How far back is he? Ted Monfils, there's Ted Monfils again. Where is Crispin Zerka? There's Zerka, the second place driver. He's now dropped 2 seconds behind, and I don't think he's going to win this one. It surely must be Monfils' race. Ted Monfils down the back stretch. Crispin Zerka, the local man, trying desperately to close in, but it's not going to happen for him, surely. Crispin Zerka, here he is. He knows his way around this track. He knows how to carry the speed, but the standard at this British Rental Kart Championship this year is such that with all the local knowledge in the world, it doesn't mean you're going to win the race. Ted Monfils putting up a good performance to stay ahead of the local expert Crispin Zerka. There's Andrew Duff going through, and Tom Campion. Tom Campion is now up to 9th place, following the disqualification of Sam Spinell. So Crispin Zerka there, just coming out of view down the back stretch. They've opened up a huge gap to third place, Russell Endine. Russell Endine, a very tough competitor in his own right, but the two leaders are way ahead now. There's Andrew Duff, he's put in a good performance. Tom Campion running last on the road, but 9th in the race. Still Harry Neal runs ahead of Jake Campbell-Mills. And it looks like Luke Hornsby is actually pulling away from Andy O'Neill on the camera shot there. We can see moved up ahead a little bit. And there's the fourth place battle. So we're looking for Harry Neal. There's Harry Neal there and Jake Campbell-Mills, and we'll be seeing them again. So Harry Neal, he's able to hold position there ahead of Jake Campbell-Mills. It looks as though Jake Campbell-Mills may come out in front after a pit stop, but Harry Neal managed to do enough to stay ahead. So here's Harry Neal there, opening up that gap ever so slightly, but Jake Campbell-Mills is, you know, he's a very formidable competitor. He was third in the Junior World Championship last year, and so that takes quite a lot to stay in front of him, and Harry Neal seems to have that quite a lot because he's hanging on in there ahead. Okay, so still Harry Neal from Jake Campbell-Mills there, and they're battling over fourth place. And we can see Harry O'Neill has managed to keep that gap. There's Ted Monfils and Crispin Zerka. So the gap remains the same over the first and second as we go back to the O'Neill and Campbell-Mills battle. And there's the third place driver, that's Russell Endine. Now back to the back markers. Okay, well, we'll see if we can get a shot down the backstretch. Yes, here he comes, Ted Monfils. That's your current race leader, Ted Monfils. And here comes Crispin Zerka, second place. That gap is staying the same. Zerka really does not have an answer to Monfils' speed. Monfils, again, one of the best in the world. He's really showing himself up well in this one of the visiting drivers. And I think it's Zerka in the pits. Yes, Crispin Zerka has pitted. He's out of camera view, but Crispin Zerka's in the pits. The second place driver, he could lose second place to Russell Endine. Russell Endine in third is going to catch him. There it is, we're back on the camera there. So the blue one was Crispin Zerka. So what will happen here is Crispin Zerka holds a narrow lead. There's Russell Endine in the grey suit behind him. So Crispin Zerka second, Russell Endine third, right on his tail now. This is really shaping up to quite a battle. There's Harry Neal and Jake Campbell-Mills fighting over fourth. But what will be the lead here? Yes, it is in fact. That's your second place. That's Crispin Zerka. Second place. Now Russell Endine is in contact with that second place. Crispin Zerka, look over the shoulder there. He can feel the pressure from Russell Endine. He really knows that he's got his hands full with Russell Endine. Russell Endine, a quick wave or thumbs up to somebody, but now we're looking, can we see Crispin Zerka? We're looking for the blue suit. There he is, Crispin Zerka with Russell Endine right on his tail. My goodness me, this is going to be a close one. Russell Endine, one of the best here. He's shown himself at all levels. He was the BRKC champion of the heavyweight division last year. Crispin Zerka has got Russell Endine absolutely all over his back bumper and away. Will we see a pit stop now? Will we see Russell Endine in the pits? Yes, we do see Russell Endine. Russell Endine heads for pit road. Okay, so this is crucial for Russell Endine. He's pitted out of third place. Harry Neal, remember, is close in fourth, and a good stop really. Russell Endine getting the cart moving. How's he going to come out? He's going to come out just alongside. Oh, Luke Hornsby side by side with Russell Endine. They touch, they bounce off the wall, but Russell Endine looks like he's got the lead. Will we see Russell Endine? Yes, we do. Russell Endine comes out just in front of Luke Hornsby. What a close one, because Luke Hornsby, remember, is in a tight battle with Andy O'Neill, Andrew Duff, Tom Campion. And Russell Endine did not want to be a part of that. He needs to come out ahead, and he has. There's the battle behind him. So there's Russell Endine leading that group of Luke Hornsby and Andy O'Neill. We're looking at Luke Hornsby now. He's trying to make up a position on Russell Endine if he can, but that's going to be a lot easier said than done. Russell Endine, a very tough competitor indeed. Ted Monfils, he cracks up another lap in the lead. Crispin Zerka maintains second place. Ted Monfils, I don't believe we've had in the pit lane yet. We'll see what Ted can do. Crispin Zerka waving back to the pit lane at somebody, so about something, goodness knows. But that battle is really building up now. That Russell Endine in fifth place, and there's Andrew Duff we're seeing. He's holding down eighth position. He's trying to close in on the cart in front of him, which is Andy O'Neill. As you can see, there's a little bit of daylight between them. Okay, now as we come out of the Snell section, passed over to second place, Crispin Zerka. Crispin Zerka now with Harry Neal as the next one, and Jake Campbell-Mills seems to have lost a bit of gap there to Harry O'Neill. Harry O'Neill has been able to pull ahead. Now look at this. This is the battle that's brewing behind him. That's Russell Endine, who we saw pit out of third place, resumed in fifth. Luke Hornsby, of course. Well, Tom Campion, he's running in ninth place there. That's Tom Campion we're looking at now. One of those endurance aces. So coming out of the Snell, in the Snell section there now, we've got Russell Endine still holding that gap now to Luke Hornsby. Surely Luke Hornsby cannot really make any road into Russell Endine, and we may well see Russell Endine pull away in that fifth place. Onto the back straight, there's Russell Endine again with Luke Hornsby. Well, Luke Hornsby is not being left behind. Luke Hornsby is managing to stay with Russell Endine, which is a lot easier said than done. There's Hornsby in the Union Jack helmet. Russell Endine coming through in the grey suit and white helmet. Now maybe Luke Hornsby can do something about Russell Endine before the end of this race. As they filter through, that's Russell Endine there with Luke Hornsby and the rest. There's Tom Campion, he's holding ninth at the moment. And that's your race leader, I believe. That's, yes it is, it's Ted Monfils. Ted Monfils continuing on his way in the lead. There's Ted Monfils now starting to close in on the back markers. Tom Campion's going to be his first target. It's incredible that he's closing down on those back markers there, who are theoretically battling over fifth place. There's Ted Monfils now, and Ted Monfils in the pits. Ted Monfils takes pits. This is the race leader. This is a crucial stop. So the race leader on the first stop, he's moving down to the second stop. There he is, and he gets going again. Is he sufficiently in the box? That's the question. Hopefully he will be. Ted Monfils, he was sufficiently in the box. That's good news for our race leader. He races on with a massive lead still. And he's setting the quickest lap, so we're not quite as quick as the previous race, all in the 33 seconds, whereas it was a 32.8, I believe, we saw in the earlier semi-final. But Ted Monfils is doing enough to have a big lead. That's the lead he has. Here's Crispin Zerka in second, and an equal gap then to third place, which is Harry Neal, and an equal gap to fourth place, which is Jake Campbell-Mills. Harry Neal really doing a good job in third place there. It's a good performance from the young man. He's doing all he can, and he's staying ahead of the driver who was third in the Junior World Championship last year. So a genuine good showing there from Harry Neal. There's Campbell-Mills, who was the one who was third in the World Championship last year. So Ted Monfils leads. Here he is into the hairpin at the end of the straight. This is Crispin Zerka, the local driver. And then Harry Neal holding down third place. Comfortable from the fourth place, Jake Campbell-Mills. And I think this is going to be pretty much the result as we see it. There is quite a big gap there, but look at this. This isn't a given result at all. Oh, down the inside. Luke Hornsby does the job. There's Luke Hornsby moving ahead of Russell Endine. It's not often we say that someone's moved ahead of Russell Endine, but Luke Hornsby's the man to do the job. Luke Hornsby crossing the line now. There they go across the finish line. in that position ahead of Russell Ending. We've only got about 3 minutes left. But Russell Ending comes back in and Russell Ending makes the move. What a thumping move there by Russell Ending. He's moved in front of Luke Hornsby. And closing in is Andy O'Neill. Andy O'Neill is benefiting from this battle. Andy O'Neill benefiting from this battle. Oh, and Luke Hornsby again fighting up the inside. Russell Ending waving his arm, saying, "What are you doing, mate?" But Luke Hornsby really working hard on Russell Ending there. Andy O'Neill now's coming in the mix. There he is with the white helmet and the black top behind him. So Andy O'Neill has taken advantage of the battle between Luke Hornsby and Russell Ending in front of him and has brought himself back up into contention. What a move there. So let's see what can happen here. Andy O'Neill is all over the back of Luke Hornsby, who in turn is after Russell Ending. It's a tough old battle, this one. Okay, so Russell Ending there. We're looking at the battle raging now. This is the best battle on the track. That's Russell Ending from Luke Hornsby and Andy O'Neill. Andrew Duff seems to be closing in, so he could make it a 4-kart battle. We've not much race remaining. They're battling over 5th place, remember, and it really is getting intense. So much so that on the back there, Tom Campion, he's running 9th, but is still close enough to maybe catch them. So these karts battling away 5th through to 9th. Not much of the race left, so a lot of work to be done. So that's Crispin Zerka. He's got 2nd place. Smooth, consistent style of Zerka there. You can see him working through the turns. That's carrying a lot of speed. It's very difficult to carry speed on an indoor kart track, as those of you who tried, I'm sure, are aware. This level is showing up the best in the drivers, and there's Ted Monfils. He's doing best of all because he's leading the way. He's done a 32-second now, 32.9, and that puts him fastest in this race. The only driver in this race to go under 33 seconds. An amazing performance there by Ted Monfils. Okay, so that's Harry Neal in 3rd place, and Jake Campbell was involved, and the checkers coming out now, and Ted Monfils wins. Ted Monfils wins, and Crispin Zerka, he's 2nd. Here comes Harry Neal in 3rd. There's Crispin Zerka on screen. Harry Neal's going to be 3rd. Jake Campbell Mill's going to be 4th, but what about this battle? We're looking at the battle 5th place. It's Russell Ending, that's Luke Hornsby. Surely he cannot do anything now. Here comes Russell Ending leading that group there. It's Ending from Hornsby, from O'Neill, from Duff and Campion bringing up 9th place. Wow, there was a race of controversy if ever there was one. It's a really intense battle, and that intense battle now has been resolved in favour of Ted Monfils from Crispin Zerka and Harry Neal. So surely these guys now have secured themselves a place in the final, but we'll see how the points are. Crispin Zerka particularly has had an excellent showing in this championship. Obviously the heat races yesterday, if you've just joined us on the live feed today, we've been having heat races all day yesterday, variety of performances. One of the winners of course was Crispin Zerka, but we've had good results. Ted Monfils won a race earlier on, and Harry Neal, we've seen him do well, and the racing has been really intense, but these guys I'm pretty sure will have put themselves into the final. Thanks a lot. So we're looking now at the drivers having finished this 2nd of the semi-finals. There's your race winner, Ted Monfils. What a performance he's put in. He's carrying lead to weigh him up to 90 kilos. By carrying lead in the cart there, it makes it possible to position it lower down, closer to the driver, and in a bit more of a helpful position from a balance point of view in the cart. Now he's onto the weight check. He needs to be over 90 kilos. So he stands on the organisers, checking the weight, and well, he's really checking the weight there. So hopefully Ted Monfils is on the over the 90 kilos. Remember, it's a 90 kilo minimum. The others are all coming in to take the weight check. It's particularly crucial for those top 3. There's a lot of points to lose if you come in underweight, and there is no excuse. You've got to be 90 kilos when you stand on those scales. So discussion going on with Luke Hornsby, and that's Russell Ending with his helmet off. Russell Ending there, who was the heavyweight champion last year in the British Rental Kart Championship. He's discussing things with Luke Hornsby. It's reasonably amicable. No one's punched anyone yet, so I suppose that's a good sign. And 2 very, very strong competitors in this Series and Championship, even though in this heat race, in this semi-final, they were purely battling over 5th place. Now all the carts sit quiet in the pit lane there. They're all the organisers with their tabards on. But just to recap for those following on the live feed, we have in fact had 3 semi-finals. Lewis Manley, of course, winning from Anwar Barul Smith. And Jeremy Gumbly in 3rd place, of course. And so Jeremy Gumbly putting up a really good show there in 3rd place to come behind Anwar Barul Smith, who was 2nd to Lewis Manley. Of course, Anwar Barul Smith and Lewis Manley really tight on the on position there for the win. So we're now just going to have a little bit of a break until the final.